Imagine this for a moment. You step onto a train in Tokyo during rush hour. The platform is packed, the train is full, yet it's almost completely silent. No loud phone calls, no music blasting from someone's speaker, no one arguing about politics, just the soft sound of the doors closing and the train moving. If you're used to life in America, it feels like stepping into another world. And that's just one of the everyday ways life in Japan is nothing like America. In this video, we're going to walk through 19 small daily differences that completely change how it feels to live in Japan compared to the United States. These aren't flashy tourist attractions. These are the little things you only really notice when you live there, or when you pay close attention. By the end, you might find yourself questioning which normal you actually prefer. Let's start with that train ride. Because public behavior in Japan is one of the biggest shocks for many Americans. In Japan, public transport is like a quiet, moving library. People talk in low voices, if at all. Phone calls are avoided. Most phones are on manner mode, which is basically silent mode. If someone does answer a phone call, they often whisper and end it quickly or step off at the next stop. Now compare that to many American buses or trains, where it's totally normal to hear someone on speakerphone, kids chatting loudly, or music leaking from headphones. Neither is right or wrong, but the daily atmosphere feels completely different. This sense of order continues even when people are just waiting. In Japan, lining up is almost an art form. At bus stops, people automatically form neat lines. On train platforms, there are often markings on the ground showing exactly where to stand, and everyone actually follows them. Even at escalators, people know which side to stand on and which side to walk on, and they stick to it. In America, yes, people know how to queue, but it's a little more relaxed. Lines sometimes turn into loose clusters. People might rush the door as soon as it opens. You don't always get the same automatic, unspoken order that you see every day in Japan. Another daily difference is how people move and eat in public spaces. In many parts of Japan, eating while walking is frowned upon, especially in quieter neighborhoods or on public transport. You'll see people stand to the side to finish their snack, or they'll wait until they get home. There's a strong sense that streets and trains should be kept clean and calm. In America, eating on the go is completely normal. Coffee in one hand, sandwich in the other, rushing to the next thing. It's part of the busy, efficient lifestyle. Just this one habit changes the feel of the streets. Japanese streets often look cleaner, and there's less of that always rushing energy. Speaking of quiet, Japanese neighborhoods can be surprisingly silent, especially at night. Many apartments have rules about noise, and people are very conscious of not disturbing their neighbors. Playing loud music late, talking loudly in the hallway, or slamming doors are things people really try to avoid. In America, depending on where you live, you might hear lawnmowers early in the morning, kids playing outside, music from the next apartment, or backyard barbecues every weekend. There's more acceptance of noise as part of everyday life. Living in Japan, you become much more aware of your own volume. Now let's go inside the home. One of the first differences you experience in a Japanese home is at the doorway. You don't just walk in with your shoes on. There's a special entrance area called the genkan, where you remove your shoes and change into house slippers. The floor beyond that step is considered clean and indoor. It's a clear boundary between the outside world and the home. In America, some families do remove shoes, but many people walk straight in with their sneakers on, especially in warmer climates. The idea that the outside dirt comes in with you is not always taken as seriously. In Japan, that small daily ritual of taking off your shoes reinforces the feeling that home is a protected, clean space. Another big difference lies in the size of that home. In Japan, especially in cities like Tokyo and Osaka, apartments are often small and highly efficient. Multi-purpose rooms are common. A living room might also be a bedroom. Closets are carefully organized. Furniture can fold away. People have to be deliberate about what they own. In America, even in apartments, you're more likely to see larger spaces, bigger kitchens, more storage, and sometimes entire rooms that barely get used. That affects daily habits. In Japan, you may buy less, you may tidy up more, and you may think carefully before bringing new items into your home. Bathing is another small daily difference that feels huge once you experience it. In many Japanese homes, the bath area is separated into two parts, a space to wash and rinse your body, and then a deep tub for soaking. The idea is to get completely clean before you soak, and the bath is for relaxation, not washing. Long hot baths are common, and public baths or hot springs, called sento and onsen, are part of the culture. In America, showers are king. Many people take quick showers once or even twice a day, and baths are more of an occasional luxury. Daily bathing in Japan often feels like a little ritual, not just a quick task. Now let's look at work and school, because everyday routines there can be very different. Japanese work culture is known for long hours and a strong emphasis on teamwork and harmony. The idea of not letting the group down is powerful. Staying late, even after finishing your tasks, is often seen as a sign of dedication. Decisions can be made slowly, with many meetings and consensus building. In America, while people also work hard, there's usually more emphasis on individual achievement and personal boundaries. Leaving on time is more accepted in many workplaces, and speaking up with your own opinion, sometimes strongly, is seen as a positive trait. The daily stress feels different. In Japan, it can be the pressure to fit in. In America, it can be the pressure to stand out. School life in Japan also reflects these values. Many schools require uniforms. Students are expected to help clean their classrooms and sometimes other areas of the school. There's a strong club culture, where kids join sports or activity clubs that can meet several times a week, even on weekends. These clubs build community but also use up a lot of free time. In America, uniforms are less common, except in private or specific schools, and cleaning is usually done by janitors. Extracurricular activities exist, but the structure and intensity vary. The daily life of a Japanese student often includes a strong sense of responsibility and belonging to a group. Commuting is another everyday difference. In Japan, public transportation is deeply woven into daily life. Trains and subways are used by students, office workers, and even small children. It's normal to see a child in a school uniform riding the train by themselves. In America, outside of a few major cities, cars are the main way to get around. Many people drive to work, drive to school, and drive to the store. School buses and family cars shape daily routines. In Japan, your commute might involve walking, cycling, and then a train, surrounded by other quiet commuters. In America, it might be you alone in a car, listening to music or a podcast. Let's talk about money and everyday shopping. For a long time, Japan has been known as a very cash-friendly society. Paying in cash at convenience stores, small restaurants, and even some bigger places has been normal, though digital payments are growing. In America, credit and debit cards dominate, and digital payments are widespread. The idea of carrying a lot of cash feels old-fashioned to many Americans. This difference affects how you think about spending. In Japan, physically handing over cash can make you more aware of every purchase. In America, swiping a card or tapping your phone can feel more abstract. Speaking of purchases, there is one place in Japan that completely changes daily life: the convenience store, or konbini. Stores like 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and Lawson are everywhere, and they're not just for chips and soda. You can buy full meals, pay bills, print documents, buy concert tickets, grab fresh coffee, and more. The food is surprisingly good for a convenience store. Many people in Japan rely on these stores daily. In America, convenience stores and gas stations exist, but they usually don't play such a central role in everyday life. You're more likely to do a big weekly or bi-weekly grocery run at a supermarket. Another everyday shock for Americans in Japan is tipping, or the lack of it. In Japan, you don't tip. Not at restaurants, not in taxis, not at hotels. If you try to leave money, staff may even chase you to return it. Yet the service is almost always polite and attentive. The expectation is that doing your job well is already included in the price. In America, tipping is deeply built into the system. You tip at restaurants, bars, hair salons, and more. You often have to calculate percentages in your head, decide how much is fair, and sometimes feel pressure from tip screens. Living in Japan removes this daily mental math completely. Portion sizes and food presentation are another difference you feel every day. In Japan, portions are generally smaller and more balanced. Bentos, or packed meals, often contain a variety of colors and ingredients in small amounts. Rice, vegetables, protein, pickles. Presentation matters, even in simple meals. In America, portions can be large, with free refills on drinks and extra sides. That can feel generous and satisfying, but it also changes what normal looks like on your plate. When Americans go to Japan, many notice they feel full but not stuffed, simply because the default serving size is different. Now let's get into communication and relationships. In Japan, communication is often indirect. People are careful to avoid open confrontation and to read the air, which means understanding the mood and unspoken feelings in a situation. A direct no might be replaced by a softer phrase like, "That might be difficult," or "We'll think about it," and you're expected to understand what that really means. In America, saying what you think more directly is usually valued. It's normal to say, "I don't agree," or "No, I can't do that," without worrying as much that it's rude. This difference plays out every day, in meetings, in friendships, and even in customer service. Personal space and physical touch are also handled differently. In Japan, people usually keep a bit more distance, especially with strangers or acquaintances. Greetings are often a bow rather than a handshake or hug. Even friends may not hug as often as Americans do. In the US, handshakes, high fives, pats on the back, and even hugs are more common, depending on the region and social circle. These small gestures add up, making daily interactions in Japan feel more reserved, while in America, they may feel more physically open. One of the most striking everyday contrasts is how children are treated in terms of independence. In Japan, it's normal to see young children walking to school by themselves, taking the train, or running small errands. There's a cultural expectation that children learn responsibility and confidence by doing things on their own. The community often watches out for them. In America, the idea of letting a 7-year-old walk alone to school can be seen as risky or even irresponsible. Parents often drive or supervise closely, shaped by concerns about safety. This difference changes family routines every morning and afternoon. Time and punctuality are yet another area where Japan and America diverge. Japanese trains are famous for being on time, often to the minute. Being late to a meeting or appointment is taken seriously and usually comes with a direct apology. People plan carefully to avoid being late. In America, time matters too, but there's usually more flexibility. Being a few minutes late might not be a big deal, depending on the context. Daily life in Japan can feel tightly scheduled and dependable. In America, there's often more room for delays and spontaneity. Finally, there's the way rules, especially unwritten ones, are followed. In Japan, there are many social rules that everyone quietly respects. Sorting trash correctly, not talking loudly on trains, following neighborhood guidelines. Even when no one is watching, people tend to stick to what's expected because the social pressure is strong. In America, rules exist too, but the attitude can be more individualistic. Some people follow every rule carefully. Others think, if it doesn't hurt anyone and I won't get caught, it's fine. That difference shapes everyday decisions in small but powerful ways. When you put all of these differences together, you start to see how living in Japan and living in America can feel like two completely different realities. Even if both have convenience stores, trains, schools, and houses. One leans toward harmony, order, and subtlety. The other leans toward individuality, openness, and flexibility. Neither is perfect, and both have strengths and weaknesses, but they shape your habits, your mood, and even your sense of self in ways you might not realize until you step into the other world. So now I want to hear from you. If you could wake up tomorrow and live one everyday life for a year, Japan or America, which would you choose, and why? Which of these 19 differences surprised you the most? And if you've lived in both countries, what small habit or rule did I miss that shocked you the first time you experienced it? If you found this video interesting, take a moment to like it so more people can discover it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more deep dives into cultural differences, unspoken rules, and everyday life around the world. And when you're done here, check out my other video on unspoken Japanese rules that foreigners only learn the hard way. It will take you even deeper into the hidden side of life in Japan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.